Jeane Dixon prophesied a war in 2025, and she may have been right. Born in 1904 and later died in 1997, she was a self-proclaimed psychic, an astrologer, and an author. She had claimed to have prophetic dreams and visions since the age of 5. During her lifetime, she had wrote multiple different books full of her prophecies. She had also advised multiple US presidents and different US political elites. In 1956, in Parade magazine, Dixon predicted that a Democratic president that was elected in 1960 would be assassinated. 7 years later, in 1963, JFK was assassinated. She also predicted the assassination of RFK, who was later assassinated during his presidential campaign. She also foresaw the death of the United Nations Secretary, who would die in a plane crash in Africa. In 1961, like the prophecy said, he later died in a plane crash in Zambia while on a peace mission. Deaths weren't the only thing that she predicted. She also predicted 2 different elections, stating that Richard Nixon was destined for higher office, to which he became the vice president and later on the actual president. And then she also predicted for Ronald Reagan to become president, stating that his presidency would bring a spiritual revival to the US. Jeane Dixon, in her 1969 book, My Life and Prophecies, she predicted that there would be a prolonged war starting in 2025 and lasting until 2037. Dixon's prediction focused on the China-Russian conflict, with China invading Russia and conquering all the way up until Germany, while Russia would turn southward, expanding into the Middle East and Northern Africa, drawing multiple countries into the conflict, essentially starting World War III. Now, before we take her predictions as truth, let's go ahead and take a closer look at them. For the JFK assassination prediction, it was originally very vague and unspecific, to which later on she actually predicted that Nixon would be the president in 1960, with him being a Republican, contradicted her whole prophecy. When looking at the United Nations Secretary's death, as well as the US and Russian space race, both predictions are difficult to verify just when she published them and if it was actually before the event. For the RFK assassination, she hadn't actually predicted that he would be assassinated. All she had said was that there is danger around the Kennedy family. And while looking at some of her other predictions, she seems to be wrong more often than she's actually right. She predicted that the world would end in 1962. It didn't. That the Vietnam War would end in 1966, to which it actually lasted another decade. That a comet would destroy most of the Earth in the 1980s. Again, it didn't. And she even already predicted that World War III would happen, but in 1958. She also has hundreds of other predictions, to which many of them turned out to be false. Carl Sagan coined the term Jeane Dixon effect, meaning that the general public seems to remember when psychics are correct, while at the same time ignoring the majority of the failed ones. While looking at her 2025 prediction, Jeane Dixon seemed to focus more on a conflict between China and Russia. But while at the time of this video, with rising tensions in the Middle East, she may not have been so far off in predicting another world war. She may have just gotten the countries wrong. Do you believe in her predictions? If so, be sure to tell me why down in the comments. And while on the way down there, be sure to leave a like. And I'll see you guys on the next one.